Hello and welcome to my happy place. My name is Austin Ashby, your team building expert. We're here with our last few dares of the season. Dare 14, and then I'll do dare 15 and 16 uh tomorrow, the next day. So what's dare 14? Dare 14 was interesting. Dare 14 was or is, what legacy do you want to leave in this world? What legacy do you want to leave in this world? I mean, what a heavy question. First of all, if you're lucky enough to be remembered after you're not in this world anymore, that's something. Part of me thinks a lot of people wind up having kids for that very reason, someone to remember them when they're not here anymore. And, it feels like a long time we're on this planet, but it's not. It's a short time. And it is important to, I believe, do good things while you're on this planet, regardless if people remember them when you're not here anymore. Very general and broad, but specifically, it really made me think about what I strongly care about. And gosh, I've had a lot of learning lessons over the years. I'm very glad that I still have rosy cheeks uh, to look at when I look at myself in the camera, because I feel like I've lived a lot of life, but I'm sure as heck there's more life to live. And so my answer for this dare, and I encourage you to sit with the question, because yes, it's about the answer, but it's what it stirs up inside you that I think is most important. Like when you think about, it's almost like that what is that thing when they're like, you have, I don't know what they call it, but basically it's like a pretend funeral. And so like you're alive, but you're there pretending that you're not anymore. And then the people around you say things. I mean, since they know you're alive, they're probably going to say nice things. But in your head, if you were thinking this, what would you think people would say? Or at least the people closest to you. I mean, there's also a fun saying, and I'm just sitting here not remembering like so many sayings that I'm thinking of. What is like a well-behaved woman is not remembered or something like that. I don't know. You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna write in the comments below. I don't remember, but I am a well-behaved woman, and if because this is the dare that has been asked, I really want to, if I get the opportunity, because again, if you're blessed with people that are not your immediate family remembering you and what you did in this world, I want to be remembered for lifting up women to be in charge, because that's what I know I deserve to be, is in charge. And I think when it comes to women, you know, we get stuff done. Like, let's be honest. But people are really comfortable with us getting stuff done and not being in charge. Like, I know this trad wife thing is really big for the younger generation, which I'm sure is devastating to some of the older female generations that I'm familiar with, because they worked so hard, like the suffragettes in the 1920s, they like starved themselves. They did so much to get us the right to vote so that we could have a vote, so we could have a say in who represents us, of who's in charge of us. And there's so few female politicians, like the number is so small in comparison. And that's just what I want to help there be more of in the world, is more women in charge, because we should be in charge. And it is what it is. Like, we're so much more empathetic. We're so much more organized. And yes, you should not just categorize a group of people. I totally agree with that. I love all the different nuances. I know, like, yes, we are all different, beautiful humans, but the numbers are real, like I was at the Union the other night, SAG-AFTRA, it's the actors performer, group here in Los Angeles, and I was listening to a female director and writer producer speak, and it's crazy. Like if you look at the main film school, USC here in LA, very big, very expensive. I wanted to go there when I was younger. There was no way I could afford it. I graduated from the college that I grew up in that town of, and it's 50% men and it's 50% women that graduate from that film school. But then you go look at the PGA or the DGA, Directors Guild of America, Producers Guild of America, women only represent like 5%. So it's like, how do we go from getting this education that is, I'm telling you, expensive, expensive. And then like there's just no opportunities there really, because again, it's putting a woman in charge. I want to see more females in charge of politics. I want to see more females in charge of film. I want to see more females in charge of medical offices. I want to see more women in charge of construction sites. I just want to see more women in charge. And especially if that's what they want. Like, don't get me wrong. If you are a woman who's like, I love being a trad wife and all I want to do is stay at home and take care of the kids and clean, like I'm happy for you. Like that's what you want. Those are your dreams. That makes you happy. You should do that. But I also don't need that to be like negative towards the women who do want a career, who do want to own their own business, who do want to like blow up in life, who do want to have their name known, And I just do. I feel really strong. I feel really strongly about it. I also feel strongly about mental health. I do some volunteer work for NAMI, which is the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And 1 out of every 5 Americans since the pandemic has suffered with some kind of mental illness since the pandemic. And I feel very strongly about that. Like, I don't think we give enough attention to mental illness in this country. We give a lot of attention to physical ailments and illnesses, but we don't give enough money and attention to mental illness. And I think we have a lot of like lack of understanding and coping and things like that. And so there needs to be more education when it comes to that as well. And so, there are a lot of different groups in the world, but all humans can deal with mental struggles at any time. And women are at least half, if not most, of the population. And yeah, we need to be lifted up and we need to lift each other up. I definitely think I came from a school of thought when I was younger that women, had to fight for a seat at the table and that men could do things better than women. And I think part of that is, I grew up in the South. I didn't grow up in the deep South, but I did grow up in the South. And I think that it's just sort of ingrained. I was blessed. I did come from a very like nuclear family in that way. And my mom really enjoyed it. She liked being the stay-at-home mom and doing the cooking and the cleaning and all that. That she chose it, she loved it, she leaned in. And I saw that growing up. And even though she was so cool with it, I was so not cool with it. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do kind of like what my dad got to do, which was whatever he wanted because he made the money and he was in charge. And I thought that was that's where it's at. That's the bee's knees. Like you have to get up and take care of the kids, make sure we get to school, make sure we have our lunch, make sure our homework's done. And he goes to work, but then when he has free time, he's playing tennis, he's playing golf. He's out there fishing, he's living his best life. And I was like, I want to do that. Now, mind you, I know how to play tennis, yes, but I do not know how to play golf. I'm working on that. And I fished once when I was 8, and it just didn't seem like the right fit for me as a hobby. But I just think it's important that we lift each other up, especially like women on women. Like women on women violence is not necessary. And I will admit to my past that is something that I thought was normal and part of the deal, and it's not. We have to like break down these beliefs. Like there's not enough. There's more than enough money in this world, and seats at the table and projects that need funding. And it's really just the way like we think. And you have to like sit with that. Sit and think about the way you think about women and how do you think about them, you know? And I have to do that. I feel like when I was younger, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go like far on the opposite. Men are not objects either. Men and women are humans and they are complex like onions and you have to peel back the layers." Yeah. This question was, what legacy do you want to leave in the world? That's my tangent. I love the work environment and I love when women are strong in it. So, what is the legacy you'd like to leave in the world? I would love to hear all about it. Let me know down below. And I look forward to the next time that we talk. Bye.